You got drafted 17th overall to New York. They were obviously an up-and-coming team that was, on the verge of something great, and you stepped right into that organization and never played an AHL game in your entire career. Like, how was that jump for you, and was it one that you expected to make? Like, was that what you thought was in the cards?
First year in Lethbridge, there was no talk during the season of underage players being drafted. It was still strictly a 19-year-old draft, and I had a year that was impressive number-wise, but totally unexpected by myself. And so I was quite surprised. And then it was the year of the merger of the World Hockey and the NHL that summer. And they decided that underage players would be eligible. So I didn't have a all season to fret about it or even part of the summer. It was just like snap your fingers and they're drafting your age group too. I got draft. Mr. Torrey called me and said they were going to take me. I that morning, and I said, I really don't want to go to New York and so on and so on. And I thought one of the brothers were pulling my leg, and they had called and were pretending to be Mr. Torrey. So anyways, about half an hour later, the phone rang again, and it was Bill Torrey, and I had to apologize for saying what I had to him before. And then training camp came about, and they played me in every game. I think I played all rookie and all NHL games. It was 12, 15 games, something like that. Thought I had quite an impressive camp. I won the rookie training camp award, which was kind of cool. But at the end of the day, they decided that I was not quite big enough and was maybe go back to junior. And the head scout, Earl Ingerfield, was living right in Lethbridge, so he could keep his eye on me. And they had a bunch of injuries, and the team had a poor start. So they swung out through here in late November and called me up to play in Edmonton and Winnipeg, I think it was. Then I went back to New York and never really came back. They had injuries, so it was about timing, as you know. You can be a high pick, but it's all about timing and the surroundings and getting the break that you needed. So it was a whirlwind of from August to November, and on we went into the spring and won the Stanley Cup. So it was a really special season.
So just to rewind, so you get a call at the farm and somebody says he's Bill Torrey. You get on the phone, you're thinking it's BS, and you're telling there's no way you want to go to New York City.
He must have got back to Earl Ingerfield in Lethbridge, and Earl called brother Brian and told him what happened. And Brian called me and gave me shit. And then it was only a few minutes later that Bill Torrey called back and said that they took me with the 17th pick. So it all unfolded quite quickly. I was somewhat embarrassed for thinking it was a prank, but when you grow up with brothers like that, there's usually the odd prank. So it is what it is.
So, okay, so just from the timeline, so you actually told him, I don't want to go to New York. In the meantime, he ends up drafting you and then calls you back.
Yeah.
And then you had to apologize. So he was not deterred. He wanted you anyways. That's great.
Yeah, well, it was a pretty special year. I mean, Patty Janelle was an old school coach and probably what I needed. My rear end kicked a little bit, but he also made sure that the pressure that he put on you and the experience that he had, you know what, you had to play hard every night or you didn't play, and that's what Dad would have told us as well. So it just turned out to be a pretty remarkable season, and then before you knew it, you were drafted, and then playing that with the Islanders, and then beating the Flyers in the Cup final.